The legendary sitcom Seinfeld, which revolutionized television comedy, has had a lasting impact on popular culture. The cast members have had various career and personal experiences in over 30 years since the show's premiere. Their journeys have been as fascinating as the show's plots, from Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Emmy-winning performances to Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up specials. This video explores the changes and legacies that the cast of Seinfeld has left behind following the show's conclusion. Jerry Seinfeld, then. Jerry Seinfeld, who played a slightly exaggerated version of himself, added his trademark observational humor to the role, keeping the show steady with his calm, funny demeanor in the middle of his eccentric friends' mayhem. Before co-creating and starring in Seinfeld, Jerry had a recurring role on the sitcom Benson as a joke writer and developed his craft in stand-up comedy clubs. As the voice of reason, Jerry frequently found himself navigating absurd scenarios, from attempting to determine whether a date was a close talker to deciphering the complexities of double-dipping. His reputation was increased by his performances on Late Night with David Letterman and The Tonight Show, which featured Johnny Carson, thanks to his humorous talent. Jerry had made a name for himself in comedy when Seinfeld debuted in 1989, and the show launched him to international prominence as one of the greatest comedians of all time. Jerry Seinfeld now. As a maestro of observational comedy, Jerry Seinfeld continues to be a cultural icon. He continued to perform stand-up worldwide after finishing Seinfeld, honing his technique and building relationships with audiences. He demonstrated his talent for having lighthearted but perceptive discussions with other comedians in his popular web series, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which ran for several seasons. His comedy timing is still spot on, as evidenced by the 2020 Netflix release of his comedy spectacular, 23 Hours to Kill. Outside of comedy, Jerry has one of the largest Porsche collections in the world and is a passionate collector of vintage automobiles. Living in New York with his wife Jessica and their 3 kids, he leads a more sedate life while teasing new endeavors now and then. Jason Alexander, then. Jason Alexander portrayed the quirky, self-deprecating, and constantly unlucky best buddy George Costanza with enduring appeal. From his wildly comical attempts at plotting to his constant griping about the little things in life, George became a legendary figure who personified embarrassing social faux pas. Jason Alexander was a seasoned stage actor in New York City before getting the part. He had Tony Award-winning Broadway credits, including Jerome Robbins' Broadway. He starred with Harrison Ford in several movies, including the cult slasher The Burning and The Mosquito Coast. He became even more well-known for his role as a shady lawyer in Pretty Woman, and by the time Seinfeld arrived, he was a varied performer. George became one of the most enduring characters in television history thanks to Alexander's comedic timing, enhanced by his theatrical experience. Jason Alexander now. In the entertainment industry, Jason Alexander remains a versatile talent. He has broadened his career into voice acting, directing, and live performances, even if his portrayal of George Costanza is still renowned. His comedic timing is as keen as ever during his guest appearances on shows like Young Sheldon and The Marvelous Miss Maisel, which fans have adored. He has voiced characters in animated series like DuckTales and Harley Quinn. Jason has demonstrated his narrative skills behind the camera by directing episodes of Franklin and Bash and Criminal Minds. He continues to have a significant influence in theater outside of the film, frequently returning to Broadway, which he loves. Offstage, Alexander is just as devoted to philanthropy, advocating for causes such as arts education and social justice. He shares his life with his wife of more than 40 years, Dina E. Title, and their 2 boys, and he is a loving family man. Jason continues entertaining audiences freshly and inventively while maintaining his humility and gratitude for his fans' unwavering affection despite his hectic schedule. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, then. Julia Louis-Dreyfus revolutionized the role of women in sitcoms as Elaine Bennis. Elaine was a fan favorite because of her witty banter, unreserved confidence, and hilariously disastrous love life. One of the most recognizable scenes in television history is still her bad dancing scene. Louis-Dreyfus demonstrated her comic abilities as a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1982 to 1985 before becoming well known as Elaine. She collaborated with comic icons Billy Crystal and Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live. She subsequently solidified her reputation as a gifted comedic actor by starring in movies like Hannah and Her Sisters and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Although Louis-Dreyfus had a strong resume when she joined Seinfeld, her portrayal of Elaine solidified her reputation as a television legend and laid the groundwork for her remarkable post-Seinfeld career. Julia Louis-Dreyfus now. Actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus has cemented her place among the most renowned of her generation. Since Seinfeld, she has starred in popular shows, including Veep and The New Adventures of Old Christine, and has received praise from critics and an unprecedented number of Emmys. She has broadened her career in recent years, starring in movies like You Hurt My Feelings and Downhill, demonstrating her ability to easily switch between humor and drama. In addition, Julia is a vocal supporter of women's rights, environmental causes, and cancer awareness, a cause that holds special meaning for her following her fight with breast cancer. She supports her two boys' artistic endeavors and regularly works alongside her husband, writer-producer Brad Hall. Off-screen, Julia juggles her activism with a demanding acting and production schedule. Fans will be delighted by her upcoming appearances in fascinating new ventures in 2024. Julia inspires audiences worldwide and is a driving force in Hollywood thanks to her humor, tenacity, and extraordinary talent. Michael Richards, then. Michael Richards' physical humor and timing made Jerry's quirky roommate Cosmo Kramer a memorable character. Kramer was always the source of laughter, whether his trademark slide through Jerry's door or his crazy plans, such as writing a book about coffee tables. Richards had a varied acting career before working with Seinfeld, having starred in programs such as Cheers, Night Court, and St. Elsewhere. In the early 1980s, he became well known as a series regular on the short-lived sketch comedy program Fridays, when his comic range was evident. Richards also starred in movies, including Young Doctors in Love, Problem Child, and UHF. Kramer, a part that would win Richards 3 Emmy Awards and make him one of TV's best comedic actors, was a perfect fit for him because of his ability to combine slapstick humor with eccentric charm. Michael Richards now. Although he has mostly avoided the spotlight, Michael Richards is still adored for his role as Cosmo Kramer. After a highly publicized scandal in 2006, Richards focused on introspection and personal development. Since then, he has made a few appearances, such as a famous cameo in the 2013 sitcom Kirstie and a cameo in the Seinfeld reunion episode on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Fans were able to reacquaint themselves with his distinct humorous approach during these brief forays back into Hollywood. Richards now lives a more tranquil life in California, where he spends time with his son and wife, Beth Skip. Despite having few acting appearances, he has left a lasting history as one of television's most recognizable funny actors. According to reports, Richards enjoys his privacy, pursues artistic projects, and finds happiness in more straightforward, intimate hobbies. His fans still celebrate Seinfeld's enduring contributions to the program, and Richards' portrayal of Kramer is a tribute to his comic genius. Wayne Knight, then. Newman, Jerry's cunning adversary, was portrayed by Wayne Knight, who gave the play the right amount of mischief. As a postal worker with dubious morals, Newman's relationship with Kramer and rivalry with Jerry produced innumerable special situations. Knight had a successful film and television career before his breakthrough performance. He starred as Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park, Dirty Dancing, and JFK, among other big-budget films. Knight was also a talented television character actor who made cameos on series like Against the Law and 21 Jump Street. He was a dynamic performer who could inject comedy into dramatic and comedic roles. Knight's talent for portraying quirky characters was highlighted by Newman's exaggerated demeanor on Seinfeld, which made him a favorite among viewers and a scene stealer in each episode he starred in. Wayne Knight now. After decades of success, Wayne Knight is still going strong. Knight, best known for playing Jerry's quirky adversary, Newman, has moved fluidly between voice acting and live-action parts. His most recent TV credits include roles in the inspirational drama 12 Mighty Orphans and Narcos Mexico. He has portrayed iconic characters as a voice actor in animated films like Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous and Kung Fu Panda: The Paws of Destiny. Wayne is a well-known voice in the business, adored for his ability to bring heart and humor to his roles. Knight leads a more tranquil existence in Los Angeles, away from acting, where he spends time with his loved ones and thinks back on his illustrious career. His timeless charm and flawless comedic timing guarantee that he will always be a fan favorite, even though he prefers a more low-key existence. Audiences worldwide continue to appreciate Knight's contributions to Seinfeld, and his presence enhances Hollywood whether he is on screen or behind the microphone. Jerry Stiller, then. George's fiery father, Frank Costanza, was portrayed by Jerry Stiller, who gave Seinfeld a memorable energy boost. Frank became one of the most adored characters on the program, from his creation of Festivus to his boisterous outbursts and amusing disagreements with his wife. Before appearing on the show, Stiller had a lengthy and illustrious comic career. He performed on shows like The Ed Sullivan Show with his wife Anna Mira as one half of the renowned comedic combo Stiller and Mira. Additionally, Stiller starred in movies like Hairspray and The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, demonstrating his versatility as a dramatic and humorous performer. Even though Stiller was already a seasoned veteran in the entertainment business when he joined Seinfeld, his portrayal of Frank Costanza catapulted him to new heights of stardom and introduced a whole new generation of fans to his hilarious genius. Jerry Stiller now. Even though Jerry Stiller passed away on May 11, 2020 at 92, his legacy lives on. Stiller's comedic genius went much beyond Seinfeld, where he was most known for his brilliant performance of Frank Costanza. He pleased fans in The King of Queens after Seinfeld, and his appearances in Hairspray and Zoolander demonstrated his versatility. Stiller's influence on the entertainment world and his humorous collaboration with his late wife, Ann Mira, is still unmatched. His warmth, timing, and vitality made a lasting impression on fans and co-workers. Off-screen, Jerry is a loving father to the actors Amy Stiller and Ben Stiller, who continue their family's artistic tradition. Although his humanity and sense of humor are much missed, his work lives on and continues to make countless spectators happy. Those who loved Jerry Stiller's talent and generosity continue to honor his memory, and his contributions to comedy and television are ageless. Estelle Harris, then. As George's controlling mother, Estelle Harris created memorable moments with Seinfeld by bringing her comedic flair to the role of Estelle Costanza. Her high-pitched voice and constant arguments with Frank and George gave the humor in the show a fascinating dynamic. Harris had established a successful career in television and movies before she participated in Seinfeld. She demonstrated her ability to combine humor and genuine emotion in roles in films such as Stand and Deliver and Once Upon a Time in America. Harris was also a seasoned stage actress who appeared in many national theatrical performances. She was a perfect choice for Estelle's role, which became crucial to Seinfeld's success, thanks to her gift for comedic timing. Harris is one of the most memorable supporting characters in the sitcom because of her ability to play the extravagant grandmother, which gives the antics of the Costanza family more nuance. Estelle Harris now. On April 2, 2022, legendary television and movie star Estelle Harris died at 93. Her portrayal of Estelle Costanza, the wonderfully controlling mother on Seinfeld, made innumerable fans giggle. She was well known for her flawless comedic timing. Estelle's unique voice also became a defining characteristic of her career, mainly when she played Mrs. Potato Head in the Toy Story series, which won over a new generation of fans. In addition to her on-screen personas, she had a prosperous voice acting career, lending her skills to several animated productions. Following her acting retirement, Harris embraced a more subdued existence away from the limelight and concentrated on spending time with her family. Her remarkable performances and ability to discover humor in the ordinary have made a lasting impression on Hollywood. Estelle's comedy talents and ability to brighten up whatever situation she entered continue to earn her praise. Her legacy is still treasured by both fans and coworkers who remember the humor and joy she brought to millions of people. John O'Hurley, then. The performance of John O'Hurley as J. Peterman, Elaine's quirky boss, gave Seinfeld a unique fusion of wit and craziness. A comic highlight of the show's last seasons, Peterman was well known for his wordy narrative and wacky demeanor. O'Hurley had a prosperous career in theater and television before joining the cast. He starred in TV movies like Billy the Kid and soap operas like Santa Barbara and The Young and the Restless. O'Hurley was a classically educated actor who stood out for his dramatic delivery and deep authoritative voice. He demonstrated his comedic skills in the role of Peterman, making him one of the most enduring characters in the series. O'Hurley's skill in fusing humor and sophistication made J. Peterman an iconic part of the Seinfeld ensemble. John O'Hurley now. John O'Hurley still thrives as an entertainer, demonstrating his adaptability in various settings. However, his depiction of the eccentric J. Peterman while on Seinfeld is still recognizable. O'Hurley is now well known across various entertainment-related fields. His charm and wit have made him a Thanksgiving staple as the longtime host of the annual National Dog Show. He has enthralled audiences on Broadway and critically acclaimed shows like Chicago, where his powerful theatrical presence is evident. O'Hurley is a talented musician in addition to an actor, and his appreciation of classical and modern music is apparent in his piano CDs. He supports children's education programs and animal welfare as part of his charitable endeavors. O'Hurley lives with his family in Connecticut and leads a well-rounded existence by splitting his time between charity, music, and acting. His reputation as a beloved figure in the entertainment industry has been cemented by his skill, charisma, and dedication to giving back. Heidi Swedberg, then. Heidi Swedberg's portrayal as George's doomed fiancée, Susan Ross, gave Seinfeld a touch of sadness and comedy. One of the most startling and darkly humorous scenes in the show is still Susan's death after licking poisonous wedding invitation envelopes. Swedberg established a solid career in television and movies before her time on Seinfeld. She starred in films like Hot Shots, Roxy Carmichael, and Welcome Home, demonstrating her versatility as a performer. Additionally, Swedberg appeared as a guest on well-known television programs such as Quantum Leap and 30-something. Her portrayal of Susan gave the character a relatable and grounded aspect, making her the ideal counterpoint to George's neurotic antics. Despite having a short stint on Seinfeld, Swedberg's portrayal made Susan one of the most memorable supporting characters in the series. Heidi Swedberg now. Best recognized for her character as Susan Ross on Seinfeld, Heidi Swedberg has made music and education the focal points of her life. Swedberg left acting to pursue her ukulele love and founded the band Suki Jump. With a focus on family-friendly music, the group hopes to unite communities via happy, interactive events. She teaches individuals of all ages how to play the ukulele and discover the power of music through her workshops. Because of her commitment to encouraging creativity and connection, Swedberg occasionally tours, inspiring audiences with her energetic presentations. She now lives in New Mexico and lives peacefully away from Hollywood. Her principles of teamwork and lifelong learning are reflected in her musical endeavors. Although her time on Seinfeld may be what fans remember her for, Swedberg has developed a rewarding second career emphasizing creativity and interpersonal relationships. Bryan Cranston, then. A frequent pleasure on Seinfeld was Bryan Cranston's portrayal of the unethical dentist, Dr. Tim Whatley. Whatley's antics, which included switching to Judaism for the jokes and being accused of regifting, added a humorous element to the series. Cranston had a varied career in television and cinema before his time on Seinfeld. He voiced characters in animated series like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and starred in films like Dead Space and Amazon Women on the Moon. Additionally, Cranston appeared as a guest on well-known television programs, including Murder, She Wrote and Matlock. Whatley was a notable recurrent character because of his ability to balance nuanced character development and humorous timing. Even though Cranston's career took off later with Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle, his stint on Seinfeld is still a highlight of his stellar resume. Bryan Cranston now. Bryan Cranston has solidified his status as one of Hollywood's most renowned and adaptable performers. Cranston has continued pushing the envelope in theater, television, and film since his Emmy-winning performance as Walter White in Breaking Bad. He performed strongly in films like Asteroid City and Trumbo and the legal drama Your Honor. His skill is also evident on stage, where he earned Tony Awards for his performances as news anchor Howard Beale in Network and President Lyndon B. Johnson in All the Way. In addition to acting, Cranston has entered the business world by co-founding Dos Hombres, a mezcal company, with former co-star Aaron Paul. He remains at the forefront of the profession because of his love of storytelling and teamwork. Off-screen, Cranston is devoted to his family and charitable causes, speaking out against injustices like climate change and education. He solidifies his reputation as a Hollywood legend with every job. Liz Sheridan, then. Helen Seinfeld, Jerry's ferociously protective mother, could handle the follies of her family with a cool-headedness that Liz Sheridan gave warmth and charm to. She and Jerry shared an unconditional affection that frequently resulted in amusing incidents, particularly when she and her husband, Morty, disagreed. Liz Sheridan was a seasoned performer with a varied history before taking on this renowned role. She played the nosy neighbor Raquel Achmonic in iconic sitcoms like Alf and had cameos on popular shows like Cagney and Lacey and The A-Team. In addition to her work on television, Sheridan had a career in theater. She wrote about her early relationship with James Dean in her biography, Dizzy and Jimmy. Her portrayal of Helen Seinfeld gained depth from her expertise as a seasoned performer. Liz Sheridan now. Liz Sheridan made a lasting impression on Hollywood as Helen, Jerry Seinfeld's devoted mother. Sheridan stopped performing after her last movie role in 2010's Trim and lived a more sedate existence in her latter years. She died at 93 on April 15, 2022, leaving a career total of comedy, warmth, and standout performances. In addition to her role on Seinfeld, Sheridan had a long career as an actress, having starred in several TV series and motion pictures. Her portrayal of Helen Seinfeld struck a chord with viewers, perfectly encapsulating the character of a devoted, guarded, and often irritated mother. Her colleagues respected her professionalism and ability to bring sincerity to every part. For viewers of the beloved sitcom, Liz Sheridan's death signaled the end of an era, but her contributions to entertainment are ageless. She is adored for her charisma, sense of humor, and commitment to her art. Richard Hurd, then. Many people laughed uncontrollably at Richard Hurd's portrayal of Mr. Wilhelm, George Costanza's perplexing supervisor at the Yankees. His eccentric nature, exemplified by incidents such as indoctrination by a carpet-cleaning cult, was an excellent match for George's neurotic behavior. Later, Mr. Wilhelm's move to the Mets gave his persona another humorous dimension. Richard Hurd, who was frequently portrayed in military or authoritative positions on television before Seinfeld, was well known. His appearances on T.J. Hooker, The Rockford Files, and MASH were noteworthy. With appearances in shows like V and Star Trek The Next Generation, Hurd was also a mainstay of science fiction. He was a remarkable addition to the Seinfeld cast because of his ability to subtly merge the ridiculous with everyday while adding seriousness to even the most bizarre characters. Richard Hurd now. Known for playing Mr. Wilhelm on Seinfeld, Richard Hurd had a successful career in his later years. Both critics and viewers praised him for his performances in critically acclaimed movies like Get Out, 2017, and The Mule, 2018, which showcased his versatility as an actor. In addition to being an actor, Hurd was the third national vice president of the Screen Actors Guild, SAG, and a fervent supporter of the entertainment sector. He was well liked by his peers because of his commitment to work and field contributions. Hurd had a happy personal life apart from acting, frequently attending fan conventions to meet other fans of his work. Sadly, Hurd died of cancer-related complications on May 26, 2020, at the age of 87. His rich legacy endures because of his impact on the industry and his unforgettable performances. Colleagues and admirers recall him as a gifted and giving person whose contributions never cease to motivate. Patrick Warburton, then. With his deadpan style and unwavering devotion to the New Jersey Devils, Patrick Warburton won over fans as David Putty, Elaine's intermittent boyfriend. Putty, well known for his catchphrase, "Yeah, that's all right," was the ideal counterpoint to Elaine's exuberance due to his monotone voice and unabashed simplicity. With cameos on shows like Grace Under Fire, Murphy Brown, and Quantum Leap, Warburton's career was taking off before Seinfeld. His tall stature and unusual voice allowed him to create memorable, one-of-a-kind characters, and he also started to carve out a niche for himself in comedy. Warburton's work on Seinfeld reached a significant turning point, which paved the way for other parts, such as Kronk's voice in Disney's The Emperor's New Groove and The Tick in the live-action series The Tick. Patrick Warburton now. Patrick Warburton remains a notable figure in Hollywood, praised for his distinctive voice and imposing presence on screen. His comedic timing and fantastical personality have delighted fans since he was cast as Joe Swanson's voice on Family Guy. He recently delighted fans by playing The Tick again in the Amazon Prime revival, receiving plaudits for his endearing and eccentric performance. In addition, Warburton starred in popular movies, such as A Series of Unfortunate Events, Ted, and Zoolander 2. In addition to being an actor, Warburton is a devoted environmentalist who regularly collaborates with groups to promote conservation efforts. His yearly charity golf tournament has donated significant money to children's hospitals and other philanthropic causes. Warburton, who is 59, strikes a balance between his career achievement and a happy personal life, which includes spending time with his family and engaging in charitable activities. He remains in great demand because of his adaptability and timeless appeal, solidifying his status as one of Hollywood's most adored actors. Brenda Strong, then. Known as the Braless Wonder, Brenda Strong played Sue Ellen Mishk, one of Seinfeld's most comically outlandish characters. As the heir to O and Elaine's competitor, Elaine was frequently annoyed and agitated by Henry Candy Fortune's strange ways, such as wearing a bra as a top. Brenda Strong was already causing a stir in Hollywood before she became a Seinfeld star. She played significant roles in shows like MacGyver, had a recurring role on Twin Peaks, and even appeared in Billy Crystal's famous music video, You Look Marvelous. Her later achievements, particularly her role as the narrator Mary Alice Young in Desperate Housewives, for which she received considerable praise, were made possible by her remarkable on-screen persona and comedic timing. Brenda Strong now. As an actress, director, and advocate, Brenda Strong continues to be a force to be reckoned with in the entertainment industry. Her most well-known role was that of narrator Mary Alice Young on Desperate Housewives. She has since won plaudits from critics for her performance in Netflix's 13 Reasons Why and enthralled viewers as Lillian Luthor on Supergirl. Strong's emotionally nuanced performances highlight her range as an actress and demonstrate her versatility. To broaden her artistic horizons, she has dabbled in directing off-screen. Strong is a yoga instructor and public speaker who enthusiastically supports health and wellness, emphasizing the value of balance and mindfulness. Her diverse career and dedication to personal development continue to inspire her at age 64. Her transformation from Sue Ellen Mishk on Seinfeld to well-respected Hollywood personality is proof of her brilliance and tenacity. Richard Fancy, then. Elaine's boss, Mr. Lipman, played by Richard Fancy, was one who made her notion of selling muffin tops into a business that went wrong. Known for his rigid manner, Lipman's inability to adjust frequently resulted in humorous backlash, such as his insistence on refusing handshakes during crucial business situations. Fancy had a substantial acting career before working with Seinfeld, often playing authoritative roles. As the high school headmaster in The Wonder Years, he left a lasting impression by striking a mix between sternness and comedy. Fancy also starred in several well-known movies, such as What About Bob? He was a natural fit for the Seinfeld universe because of his talent for playing stiff, yet strangely endearing characters, and his interactions with Elaine gave the program an additional humorous dimension. Richard Fancy now. Richard Fancy has subtly kept up his presence in Hollywood by making cameos in highly regarded television shows like Mad Men, Boston Legal, and Grey's Anatomy. Fancy, known for playing the stiff Mr. Lipman on Seinfeld, has shown versatility by playing parts that call for humor, wit, and gravity. Along with his work on television, he has returned to his theatrical roots by starring in several critically acclaimed stage musicals that showcase his lifelong love of performing. His timeless appeal delighted viewers when he recently appeared in an episode of Grace and Frankie. Fancy, who is 80 years old, leads a more laid-back lifestyle but occasionally participates in projects that let him show off his skills. His reputation as a multifaceted actor and his capacity to transition between media have won him the respect of both fans and colleagues. Jane Leeves, then. In an episode that hilariously examined her relationship with Jerry and her subsequent liaison with John F. Kennedy Jr., Jane Leeves played the Virgin, Marla Penny, on Seinfeld. Marla's story provided a humorous perspective on dating relationships and was notable in the show's history. Leeves was rapidly advancing her Hollywood career before her cameo appearance on Seinfeld. She played Audrey Cohen in Murphy Brown and Who's the Boss, among other shows in which she had recurrent roles. She has demonstrated her comedic abilities in the cult favorite series Throb. Leeves' time on Seinfeld served as a prelude to her breakthrough performance as Daphne Moon on Frasier, which solidified her place as one of the most adored comedy actresses on television. Jane Leeves now. As one of the most beloved actors on television, Jane Leeves never fails to captivate audiences with her warmth, comedy, and nuance in each role. Leeves, who gained broad praise for portraying the tough Dr. Kit Voss in The Resident, is best recognized for her role as Daphne Moon on Frasier. Her performance on the show demonstrates how well she can play dramatic parts while retaining charm. Leeves has also moved into producing, applying her knowledge to create worthwhile behind-the-camera initiatives. She maintains her commitment to her family despite her hectic work schedule, gracefully juggling her personal and professional lives. She is 63 years old and still enthralls audiences with her flexibility, demonstrating her resilience in a constantly changing field. Because of her skill and commitment, Leeves is adored in Hollywood, whether working behind the scenes or in front of the camera. Deborah Messing, then. As Jerry's friend-turned-possible love interest, Beth Luckner, negotiated a failing marriage, Deborah Messing added charm and wit. Beth's plot underlies Jerry's talent for romantic entanglements, frequently resulting in delightfully embarrassing situations. Messing was on the verge of being famous before Seinfeld. Her comedic timing was evident in her major part on the sitcom Ned and Stacy, and she appeared in guest positions on programs such as NYPD Blue. Her performance on Seinfeld demonstrated her ability to combine warmth and humor, which helped pave the way for her subsequent popularity as Grace Adler in Will and Grace. Deborah Messing now. Deborah Messing is still a powerful force in Hollywood, praised for her dramatic range, wit, and comedic timing. Widespread praise greeted her return to Will and Grace for its relaunched seasons, rekindling the enchantment and demonstrating her continuing skill. Messing has also acted in movies. Her notable parts in Searching and Irresistible allowed her to play nuanced, multi-dimensional characters. In addition to being an actress, Messing is a fervent supporter of social justice, utilizing her position to speak out on voting rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and gender equality. At 56, she still combines her acting profession with significant advocacy, motivating admirers with her tenacity and commitment. Messing's transformation from her iconic Seinfeld guest appearance as Beth Luckner to her success as an actor and activist highlights her capacity to change and stay current in the cutthroat entertainment sector. Kristen Davis, then. On Seinfeld, Kristen Davis played Jenna, the girlfriend who famously used a toothbrush that Jerry unintentionally lost in the toilet. This incident became one of the show's most embarrassing yet humorous plots. Jenna and Jerry had a brief but memorable romance, similar to many of his others. Before her stint on Seinfeld, Davis portrayed the deceptive socialite Brooke Armstrong in recurrent appearances on Melrose Place and General Hospital. Davis's range from comedy to drama was demonstrated in these early roles. Her appearance as Charlotte York on Sex and the City, where she became well known, was preceded by her cameo appearance on Seinfeld. Kristen Davis now. Fans like Kristen Davis for her portrayal of Charlotte York in Sex and the City, and she continues to have a successful career. Reuniting with old admirers and presenting Charlotte to a new generation, she recently played the role again in HBO Max's revival, And Just Like That. Davis has a solid commitment to wildlife conservation and performance. She works with global organizations such as the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust to promote the preservation of elephants and other endangered species. To draw attention to the predicament of these magnificent creatures, Davis even produced the documentary Gardeners of Eden. She effortlessly combines her humanitarian work and acting profession at 59, showing grace and purpose in all she does. Her reputation as a role model on and off screen is cemented by her commitment to her work and her desire to change the world. Teri Hatcher, then. One of Seinfeld's most frequently cited scenes is Teri Hatcher's portrayal of Sidra, Jerry's date, who started the notorious argument over whether or not her possessions were real and spectacular. A layer of ridiculousness well suited to the play's tone was introduced by Sidra's self-assurance and Jerry's fixation with her. Hatcher, who portrayed Lois Lane in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, was already a rising celebrity before she appeared on Seinfeld. She also appeared as a guest on well-known programs, including Star Trek: The Next Generation and MacGyver. Hatcher's subsequent success in Desperate Housewives was made possible by her guest stint on Seinfeld, which cemented her comedic talent. Teri Hatcher now. Teri Hatcher is still a versatile performer who infuses her work with vitality and genuineness. In addition to her most well-known role as Susan Mayer on Desperate Housewives, Hatcher has voiced characters in animated shows and appeared in Hallmark films. In addition to performing, she has pursued her passion for cooking through her YouTube channel, Hatching Change, where she posts career anecdotes, recipes, and life tips. Hatcher frequently uses her platform to motivate others and supports women's empowerment and mental health awareness. She is still reinventing herself at 59, juggling her interests with a consistent career in entertainment. Although she is remembered with fondness by fans for her Seinfeld appearances, her current achievements demonstrate that she is much more than her previous personas, adapting to the times while maintaining her artistic integrity. Kathy Griffin, then. Sally Weaver, an aspiring performer whose one-woman show mocked Jerry in the hilariously titled Jerry Seinfeld is the Devil, was portrayed by Kathy Griffin with her trademark comedic flair. Sally's outrageous personality and will to succeed at all costs made her a standout in the Seinfeld universe. Griffin was practicing her craft in comedy clubs and with the renowned Groundlings improv group before her guest appearance. She starred in TV shows, including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and had a minor part in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. After her time on Seinfeld, she became a successful stand-up comedian and star of the Emmy-winning Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D-List. Kathy Griffin now. One of comedy's most courageous voices, Kathy Griffin is renowned for her razor-sharp wit, daring humor, and unreserved comments on current affairs. Griffin has proven incredibly resilient despite significant setbacks and scandals, putting on sold-out comedy tours and producing highly regarded specials. Her honesty and resilience have inspired many, and her candidness about her battles with mental health and her road to recovery has made her a champion for mental health awareness. In addition to comedy, Griffin has authored a biography detailing her experiences in the entertainment business and made guest appearances on television. At 63, she still connects with followers who respect her honesty and tenacity by using humor as a weapon and a therapeutic tool. Griffin's career, filled with highs and lows and an unwavering desire to entertain, guarantees her status as a comic great who will not be quieted.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon